Good morning. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It takes a second. It's like a 10-second delay. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. From my dining room. Can you hear me okay, everybody? I just want to make sure you guys can see me, you can hear me. I have a different background this morning. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Christy. Hi, Christopher, Melanie. Hi, guys. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning on a very special occasion. You guys know, hi, Will. This morning, I have a very special guest, and if my cheeks hurt so much from smiling, it's because my daughter decided to join me today. Hi, guys. I'm so excited. So if I have little tears in my eyes periodically throughout the day, it's because I'm very overjoyed that she decided to join me today. This is her, my blue hair mermaid, Jessica.
Hello.
Hi. She's here. And I showed her that she could read the chat. So
Thank you, Rachel.
So thank you for being here this morning.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
So I'll try not to cry too much, guys. Pink hair. Oh, so yes, Christy's daughter's pink hair mermaid, and her name is daughter Jessica too.
Ooh, something in the name.
It is something in the name. So we are rounding out Autism Awareness Month today. Oh, yeah, Christopher. So see, your guess would be right. So I'm going to kind of interview Jessica a little bit today. And you guys I've talked about Bradley a lot, and I talk about Jessica a lot too, but this month has been a lot about Autism Awareness Month. But before I kind of dive into that, I want Jessica to kind of introduce herself, because while I've talked about my family and everything else, I want you to kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody, a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm Jessica. I'm a party planner full-time, so I work mostly from home, but I also get to work at events, and I get to go all over Orlando and Central Florida, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. But ultimately, I'm a sister of I'm a sibling with autism. So my brother has autism, but I'm bipolar and I have schizoaffective disorder. So I have some mood swings here and there, and I struggle with hallucinations, but got it all under control. Don't worry, we're good. I'm unmedicated, which is not normal for my condition. However, I do well. So it's not what we're here to talk about, but just so you know a little bit about me as well. I'm not on the neurotypical side, which is a different opinion as a sibling with autism. Some siblings are neurotypical, some aren't. But yeah, it's just a little bit about me. I'm only a year younger than Bradley. We're called Irish twins, something like that, because we're within like 16 months. We're 14 months apart.
For sure.
And we're best friends growing up. He's definitely one of my top people in my life. So I don't know really what else to say.
See, I love that. I'm gonna cry already. On the move. I'm gonna cry already. Thank you, Crissy, for dropping that. I appreciate that. I do, and thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. It's been, I asked Jessica this morning, I said, what are some things we can share about you? And would you be willing to open that? And she's like, absolutely. She goes, we're not the norm family. And I think that needs to be talked about.
It's not every family who has someone with autism is all normal, or they all have something going on.
Right, exactly.
Whether they know it or not.
Right, exactly. And we are a very we're a diving family. So not literally diving.
We research. We like to learn.
Yeah, we do. And we've researched since Bradley was, little, since he was a baby. And we've all done it. And since she has been able to be on the computer and learn about things, it's been really good to know about, life and how how it kind of develops for us. I'm not on any, what is the word? I'm on my own soapbox, right? So I have my own opinions. She has her own opinions, and we respect that about each other. We have a good communication, and we don't always agree on things, and that's
we
okay.
didn't always. So I mean, don't think this is the normal. During like adolescence, this didn't exist. High school didn't exist.
High school was not fun.
I'll refer you back to bipolar and schizoaffect.
We'll refer back to that. That time in life was not magical, but that's okay. That's okay. That's totally fine, because as you grew up and learned a lot more, and I learned a lot more, our relationship, I think, developed into this, and it's been
so
been awesome.
Nice.
It's lovely.
But anyway, what were we here for?
What are we here about? So, thank you first and foremost for being here today to share your experience, and for being Bradley's best friend in life.
He's the best.
He is the best. But I could say that from a mom perspective, but you're saying it from a sibling perspective, and I don't have that. So I have a different sibling, right? So I grew up with 4. And
in a different time.
And in a different time zone, life in general. And you have Brad. So, I mean, you guys have a different connection, which I've always admired and loved. And so I appreciate that. So thank you from my heart. So as we go on, if I miss saying hi to you guys, just know that it's kind of a different perspective today. It's a different kind of talk today. So hi, Judy. If I miss you guys, just remember I'm just saying hi as I kind of can. So thank you for being here. So my first question to Jessica is, hello, is when you were young and Brad was early diagnosed, do you have any memories of going to therapies when you guys were little, when you were younger?
Yes, but not vivid memories. So my memories are very pieced together from, I think, my own experience. I have pieced memories of going into the clinic. Clinic is such a weird word, but like a clinic, and being put into this waiting room, and the waiting room being sectioned off from like families waiting, and then like kids waiting. So like the kids waiting room was a playroom, and there was toys, there was puzzles, there was computer games, there was all this cool shit to do. All this cool stuff to do. So for me, it was, all right, well, you just go over there, hang out and do your own thing with the other kids that didn't want to hang out or do anything. So we were all playing in our own separate corners, doing our own thing. But then it would just be go do puzzles, and then 30 minutes later, an hour later, all right, let's go home. Yeah. That's your memory. That's my memory. That's your memory. All right, go play. And usually Bradley would be chatty, or he would be more interactive after. And that's like my main takeaway from therapy was just, all right, we'd go play games. Sometimes me and Bradley would play the games together. Yeah. So I remember like we would play computer games side by side. And that was it. So I remember. Yeah. Those are good. Those are yeah. I kind of remember some of that stuff too. It was those are things there as well. So we used to go, do you remember going on Saturdays to UCF? No. So we used to go to, I don't remember where we went. Okay. So that helps at all. Yeah. I remember we'd go different places. Yeah. I know one of the clinics was a good drive out. So that could be it. Yeah, it was several. Yeah, there was several times, and she's got a good point, as long drive. So on Saturdays for 2 to 3 years, we would go out to a place called UCF. So it was University of Central Florida. And we would go out, and it was 45-minute drive every Saturday for 2 to 3 years. And it was free. So I'm not complaining. It was just a long drive. And we had behavior therapy for Brad. So as a group, we all went every Saturday for 2.5 hours. So it's 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. And it was, like I said, free. So it's behavior therapy and speech and language. And so the clinicians, they were training. And so they would do speech and language for 45 minutes, and then they do behavior therapy for 45 minutes. And so Jessica would go in and she would hang out with her friends, like, other kids her age. Yeah. And then we would watch as the clinicians or people in training, therapists in training, would do all these different therapies. And the mother that I'm still learning on how to do all these things, I would be like, what are you doing to my kid? Like, why are you doing these things? And what can I learn from this? And trying to figure out how to do these things, with him, and learning why they're doing the certain techniques and
how to do it at home and how to apply it at home, because at the time we weren't having behavior therapy at home or speech and language at home. And so until we could, that's what we did. So yeah. And then later when you guys were in elementary school, we drove all the way to Altamont, which is 45 minutes the other way. So yeah, so it was a lot of therapies for sure. And then we had it at home.
Yeah, I remember
for a long time.
I think Miss Terry
was here. Kelly was here.
Terry.
And
Terry.
Yeah,
she was with us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bradley had someone else at the school in addition to her.
Yep.
So she wasn't at the school, but she was here.
Yep.
And then she would still communicate with people at the school.
Yep.
So I still saw her around at school.
Yep. Yep. He always had a one-on-one in elementary school. Middle school, he had one that kind of went away. And then high school, he just had somebody that was kind of overseeing just to be sure that he was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the programs he was involved in at the time, he was still able to be integrated in the classes. I don't know if that's been said.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, with Bradley's history, some children who are neurodivergent get put into like a special needs classroom, and some get the one-on-one and can be integrated in the classrooms. And that's what he was doing. So he was still integrating, still learning, and on the gifted side. So he was doing really well in classes. Just needed that extra in case someone was clicking their pen too much.
Yeah. Because he would push you over.
Yeah.
If he didn't like the pen. And some kids would just do it just to irritate him, and he would be like, hi.
Kids are mean.
Be like, stop it. I don't like it. So I'm going to punch you. Yeah. So, neurotypical kids will do that too, Hey, Angie, how's it going today? Oh gosh. Thank you. Okay. So, all right, here. So we're going to move on to the teenage times.
Next.
Yikes. Okay. Do you have anything to add to that one though?
To the therapy one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So this one's a little challenging. And so I may need a Kleenex for this one. Was it? Oh, well, actually we kind of looked over these beforehand. So Jessica gave me an idea on this one. Was it difficult I guess how'd we word this one? Let me see. Was it difficult You
didn't take notes?
I did. Hold on. So was it different as a child versus a teenager? So what did we say? Growing up as a teenager, what would you say was your hardest struggle having a brother on the spectrum? So remember we said this one? Growing up as a teenager, what would you say was your hardest struggle?
Different as a child.
Yeah. Was it different as a child, as a teenager? Yeah.
Okay. So growing up as a child with someone with autism was a lot of fun. We got to do a lot more activities than I feel like normal neurotypical kids would do. I feel like it was normal for us to be in the same space all the time. And it was very regular for me to be involved in whatever therapies he was doing, because a lot of it was play therapy. So anytime we would play games or play with Hot Wheels, and regardless of what we were doing, it was almost always together. And I really loved that growing up.
Yeah.
When we became teenagers, we kind of went the opposite. So we were close, and then our communication kind of changed drastically with the middle school, high school difference.
Yeah.
And me going to middle school, him going to high school, that was the dramatic change. Was we were not just on different schedules, but we were in different environments completely.
Yeah.
So that year of break, I remember it changing our relationship, going from us hanging out every day and doing a lot of things together to only seeing Bradley in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And that was difficult, but it also made me kind of go into being my own person and not being as involved with Bradley.
Yeah.
But then in turn, going into high school as a teenager, feeling that I have to stick up for him. I have to be there for him. I have to do this, and this for him. And didn't need to. Bradley's 6'5" and strong enough. He didn't need my help. But there are plenty of kids that I had to deal with that were picking on him, or I had to deal with different situations where I got myself involved into fights with older kids because Bradley was older. And she's not 6'5", by the way. Yeah, I'm 5'3" for reference.
For reference.
But it definitely changed, I think, how I would have processed. I think that me feeling like I needed to be protective over him for so long, and then using that as I have to be more independent. I have to stand up more and kind of just step up in general. That I think changed my adolescence entirely, because I felt like I had to do more. Even though I definitely didn't. Probably do whatever he wants, but that's definitely the key difference for me. At least it was going from being best friends to being roommates. And it being different.
And he was aggressive too, though. I saw some aggressions. He became a bit more aggressive.
But so did I.
And so did
we
you,
were both very passionate individuals who had a lot of emotions, and they're both very overstimulated. And neither of us really knew how to communicate it. Right.
Exactly.
And we went through that headbutt phase where it was, well, we'll just get aggressive with each other. And brothers do that. Brothers fight.
It was,
but it was never to the point where we got seriously hurt.
No. And they didn't take it out on each other. It was more on items.
It
was
always
more on
items.
Doors.
Furniture.
Furniture.
Hi, Coco.
Hey, Coco.
It was a challenge, but it wasn't. I don't think I'd have it any other way. I don't think I would do it. I would see anything be done differently.
I'm glad. And it's definitely a learning lesson, because it was something that you guys had to go through to kind of get to where you are now. Because I don't think many siblings in this, where you guys are this close. You know what I mean? At your age and at your level, like his level and your level. I don't know that a lot of, I know a handful, but not very many.
I think there are still, it just depends on wherever you are, because if you have siblings or you don't, and there's that mix too. If you have siblings, if you only have one sibling, people who have one sibling do tend to try to keep that relationship going however they can. The ones with multiple siblings,
That's true.
You know what that's like. It's a little harder to keep those relationships under wraps. So the ones who have multiple siblings have like a favorite sibling. They don't want to say it, but we know you do.
You know who you are.
And that's why siblings who are just the two get that luxury of being able to say, I have a brother, or I have a sister. And that is who I can lean on in my family, who is somewhat in my generation, who sort of understands what's going on with my age range, but also understands what I'm coming from my childhood, because they were there.
And I think what's awesome is that, and you guys probably that have kids around that same age too, and I know Crissy and I have talked about this a lot, is that, she's got kids around that same age too, is that it's lovely, because her older kids will say, that, you let your younger son get away with a lot, right? But you and Bradley are around the same age. So it's like, you can just tell me, you're like, let him do this and let him do that. Just, it's fine. It's fine, because you guys are the same age. So it's just all good. It's like, okay, fine.
And I think from your perspective too, it's a habitual practice, because you went from years and years and years of making sure he was okay. And I have more practice of not only making sure he's okay, but knowing he's okay, trusting that he's okay. Because even when these kids, even in high school, when these kids would pick on him, he'd be so unbothered. It never bothered him. I had no reason to get into a fight with this person, because Bradley they were not even a blip on his radar.
Exactly.
He was like, I don't care.
What?
Who even is that?
Yeah.
And when those kind of things happen, you click and you go, okay, well, he's got his own world. He doesn't need all this regular world drama.
Right.
And
Exactly.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice.
It's hard, though, to let go, because it's habitual. You're used to doing it every day for 29 years. You're used to it. And it's the practicing of, okay, well, he can do this. Okay, well, he can do this.
And a good example is the other day.
Talking to him.
Exactly. And the other day is a good example. He went to Tampa with his friends, and I was really nervous, but he has a great group of friends, really great group of friends. And they went to Tampa, and I didn't know they were going to Tampa. I thought they were just going downtown Orlando. But
he had presented it in a way or it was not clear where he was going.
Yes.
It was, I'm going to a concert with my friends. Okay.
An opera.
Great. Going to an opera with my friends. That sounds lovely. Hope you have fun. I'm going to be home late.
At 2.
Okay. Weird time to be home. Usually those end well before 11.
Yeah.
Okay. The day of the opera. Oh, yeah, I'm going to Tampa. It's in Tampa.
Tampa's
Where is it? The
Hour and
Strass
45
Theater
minutes.
in Tampa.
Hour and 45 minutes away.
And it's not with the time of day he left was crazy. He left at 5 o'clock. It's crazy. But
I was
safe
jonesing.
drivers. It was to
Fine.
Tampa. It was ultimately they got there on time. He got a really good spot to see the whole play too, which is awesome.
Sat with the director.
So cool.
Oh my
But
gosh.
that's also the ultimate like trust. He's fine. He coordinated, has a ride, had this figured out.
Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, exactly.
If he had an iPhone.
Yeah. But Crissy, you're right. So the good thing is he's really cool about like, he said, hey, I'm at Dinosaur. Like he was passing on I-4. He's like, hey, I passed Dinosaur World. Hey, I just want to let you know we got here. Oh my gosh, my shoes blew out. You know, oh, we ate the best food. I'm going to turn off my phone now because this is starting. Won't talk to you for several hours. We're done. We're in the car passing this place, da, 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 da. And I'm like, so I put my phone on for every 45 minutes to just,
So he was giving you updates like
he was giving me updates because he knows that I'm a worrywart. And I'm like,
he could see how nervous she was
Yes.
when he left, but he also knew I'm going. So I'm
It
going to
worked
make
out.
this comfortable for you, but I'm going to go.
It worked out and he looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He looked so handsome and his friends had a good time and it all worked out. It was fine. But it was like one of those things that I was like creating anxiety where I didn't need to, but it was the first time he'd gone
It had been
in
the
so
first
long.
time he had gone on a journey that way by himself
Yeah.
in a long time since before COVID.
Yes.
Since before COVID.
Exactly.
Since COVID specifically,
Exactly.
He has been hesitant to see
Yeah,
him
excuse
want
me.
to go back out into the world and to experience things socially is another
big deal.
habitually new thing to move past because he didn't do it for years.
Yeah. He
And
developed
a
that?
lot of anxiety.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
A lot of general people did in general. It's totally normal after you get told if you go outside you're going to be sick. Like
right. And he went like kind of that way for sure. And milestones, 100% Maggie, 100%. And it was such a cool feeling to have, you know, Dad and I just kind of hang out. And even though
I mean, you knew you were going to have that time alone, but at the same time
we were exhausted after the garage sale. I was like, I would have loved to like gone out for dinner, but I was like, I took 2 naps. I like woke up from the nap and it was like 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh, this is lovely. You want to watch a movie? And I went back to sleep. I was like, Dad's like, sure.
Fell asleep.
I went right back to sleep. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. I'm sorry. I woke up like at 9:30. I'm like,
I tried.
sorry, babe. Like, sorry. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next question. Do you have any favorite family or friend memories you'd like to share?
One of my favorite ones is probably when we got our dog. When we got our dog Blossom, we were real little, so I don't remember it explicitly, like all the pieces, but the pieces I do remember is me, Bradley, and my best friend Alyssa. We're all going to whatever puppy mill we went to.
We went to a farm, and they were a breeder. It was a breeder, and it was in Geneva.
We went to a breeder. And I remember me, Bradley, and Alyssa walking into this. I'm sure Connor was there, but he was a baby, so it doesn't count.
Anyway, sorry.
I hope he knows I love him. That was silly. But we walk into this. I remember walking into. Probably wasn't when we walked in the house, but I remember we walked into the house and we were bombarded by all these little fluffy things, and all of them were like crowding around, doing the thing that like you picture dogs doing when you're going to adopt a dog. And it's pick me, pick me, pick me.
Yeah.
And Bradley's doing his own thing, and
he's
this dog, he's stimming, but
he's
he's just hanging out doing his own thing. He's overstimulated with all these animals, and this one fluffy dog is out also doing her own thing and not paying attention to us at all. So me and Alyssa kind of go over to that one like, why is this one being weird, and pick her up, and she has all these beautiful different colors in her coat.
She was so pretty.
Most of the dogs were just like 2 colors, like just like the black and gray or brown and gray mix, whereas she had like hints of like that bright red and white and orange, just all over the place, these beautiful little patches of fur. And she had her tongue out, she was all flopping around with her head, little puppy head. Cute. And I remember Alyssa picking her up, and she was like, "This one's just like Bradley." And picking her up and just holding her, and I was like, "I want to hold her," and I held her. And then I looked at Bradley, and I remember like looking at Bradley and saying, "Do you want this one?" Like just kind of pushing it onto him, and he like pet her and was like, and then held her for a minute, and then put her back down, like just kind of like, get it off of me. But he held her for a minute, and I was like, all right, we're gonna take that one. That's the one we want.
That's the one. And you did pick that one because it was up to you guys, because
you said we could pick.
Yep, I did. And the whole purpose of that was because we had friends who had dogs, and Bradley was really scared of dogs, and we wanted him to be, not too afraid of them, because he would literally wig out, like to the point where his arms would go out and be so scared. But we didn't want him to be so scared. But our friends had big dogs, and so I thought, well, I'm going to take him to all these I took you and him both to like all these pet places, and brought the dogs out, like all kinds of dogs, like big dogs, little puppies, not dogs, but puppies. And I brought them out to the minivan, and I shared them with them. And Jessica loved all the puppies, and Bradley was like, like he would unbuckle and climb out of he would try to get out of the minivan. And so finally we found a Shih Tzu, and the Shih Tzu was like, okay, I really like this. But they sold the one puppy place we went, they sold the Shih Tzu that we were supposed to get. And so I was like, all right, well, then I guess we're gonna have to find another one. So we found this breeder out in Geneva. Breeder. I'm hoping it was a breeder. I don't know. Apparently not, because she was very special. And she was very perfect for our family. She lived to be 16, and she was a little Shih Tzu.
Yeah, those, I feel like they don't usually live that long, but we've had that luck, and then our neighbors also had that luck with their Shih Tzus as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They lived
so
long.
Sweet. And she was just, but she got her head stuck in everything. We took her to
between chair legs, between the couch and the wall, just in between, like, the couch cover.
We took her PetSmart. She got her head stuck in the cart. She was just so special, but we loved her. Yes. I mean, we loved her forever and always. So it's just, but yeah, she was just adorable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, little ball of fur.
Yeah, little ball of fur. And Bradley he connected with her, and he didn't go up to every single dog after that, obviously, but he was more relaxed around dogs than not, which was good.
That plays into where exposure therapy is so good for kids, and kids who lack being exposed to animals.
Yes.
Will have that general anxiety when it comes to animals. It's where you see people who are just like, I'm just not a dog person. I'm just not an animal person. It's purely just exposure. It's just, you just weren't around them growing up, so you don't recognize them as safe. And then once you do, and you're like, oh, it's just something I have to feed, and it comes up and gives me love. Okay.
Yeah. And even saying, I'm cool. I don't need one or whatever. And that's fine. But like, I think sometimes parents that say, and it's my thing, not I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist or anything like that. But I think one of the things that bothers me is that parents that say, oh my gosh, they don't like dogs, or they're afraid of dogs because when he was 3, a dog barked at him. Okay. So allow give him some exposure. You're creating that, now he's 40, at 3, now you've been telling him since he was 3, the dog barked at him. So now he's going to be afraid of the dog. So allow that, exposure or whatever. So it's like exposure.
Definitely helps.
It definitely helps. It's kind of like the food thing. I mean, I get food. I understand food. Y'all know I know food. But if you don't allow the food texture to try it and spit it out, if you don't like it, spit it out. I'm okay with it. Rinse your mouth out, brush your teeth. I won't ask you to try it again for another 3 months. I'm okay with that. But at least have a small little tiny bite, and then just spit it right out. I'm okay with it.
Having the want to explore food is something that doesn't always happen.
I know we went into pets to food. I know it's weird.
Well,
Sorry,
especially
exposure.
Neurodivergent families, having that exposure to food and having that open acceptance. If you don't like something, it's okay to not like something. There's a weird pressure that's put on a lot of neurotypical families. If you don't like my food, then you don't like me. You don't like my cooking, then you don't like me. You go to bed without dinner.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were brought up with. Remember, we were talking about that at Sunday dinner. That's what we were brought up with. Yeah.
Whereas
that's what we were brought up with.
When we were growing up, if we didn't like something, it was please just try dinner. If you don't like it, make a sandwich. If you don't like it, make some chicken. If you don't like it, there's other options to do it, to make something. But try it. Try dinner. Just try it.
Yeah.
And every night, it was just continuing to do that every time. Just try it. If you don't like it, it's fine. You can say you tried it. And if someone asks you, oh, how have you tried it? Yes, I did. I hate that texture. I know I hate that texture. Like I have, thank you. Because ultimately you don't know if you like it or not. And a lot of the times parents who do the same thing, well, he doesn't like dogs because one barked at him when he was 3. Well, he doesn't like fajitas because he said it was too spicy when he was 5, so he only eats chicken tacos now, or he doesn't eat tacos at all. It's the same thing. You have to kind of let your mouth kind of get used to it or understand what the flavor is and let your brain compute. Let it understand what the sensations are, and if they have a boundary with it, or if it's a texture, if it's a taste, or if it is a spice, then they can define it then. Otherwise, you don't know if you like it. Let's try it.
Exactly. 100%.
I think that's what Bradley got the luxury of discovering too, is he likes seafood and he likes all these other spicy things and ramens and baked goods, like all the pastries he makes. I feel like he has to have a different taste understanding of how he tastes things. The
palate he has,
and
good.
The process. He loves the process.
Agreed. But he doesn't like baked apple pie or baked apples or apple sauce. Like that.
He doesn't like baked fruit.
He doesn't like baked fruit
because unless he makes it into like a compote or like a syrup,
a jam,
he doesn't like it because it's the texture of the mushy fruit.
Exactly.
Same with vegetables. If the vegetable's too mushy, he's not going to eat it.
Unless
it's potatoes. Potatoes are supposed to be mushy.
So like certain,
there's
a certain method. Yeah, there's a method to it.
But understanding it is key, and it gives you room to understand it when you try things. Whereas when you don't try things, you just say, I don't know, I don't like it. And it makes you more confused as a person who's developing.
Agreed.
So if you just, I don't know, I only eat chicken for 20 years, that's okay too. But if I don't know, I only eat chicken because I know it makes me happy, or because I like this, because of. That makes more sense.
And Crissy
and your brain can process.
And Crissy's saying the same thing, a lot pickier with food. Her daughter was a lot pickier with food, but when she saw her younger brothers trying it, then it helped be more adventurous. Yes, that is a fact too. And
even encouraging if you don't like something, it's okay for it to make you feel negatively. It's okay for negative emotions to arise and dealing with them as opposed to avoiding them altogether. I know Bradley will still try things. And if he knows he's not a big fan of the texture, he'll still, will you please just try it? Like Terry makes apple pie, and because Terry made it, I'll still try it. I know I hate cooked apples.
But I'm going to try it because you made it for me.
Because you made it, and he'll have notes, and he will, every time he'll spit it out.
Be like,
and it's okay.
I'll be like, nope, I still hate it.
But thank you for trying.
Yes, and she'll make a baked apple pie like every few months, and she'll be like, can you please just try a bite again just to see? And he'll be like, and he will. You're absolutely right. He will try it out of love. He'll try a bite, and he'll be like, nope, I still hate baked apple pie, but he'll do it.
It's different for everybody too.
It is.
Some would rather just say no and put up the argument, and others would rather just say, you know what, it might be different. You don't know.
Exactly.
I could be different. Your taste buds, there is science behind that. Your taste buds, you change every 30 days. So you might as well try it.
Exactly. I'm with you. My gut doesn't change. I wish it did. So I might.
Oh, it does.
So that. Well,
it progressively gets worse.
My progressively gets worse. That's true. But we're not here to talk about that today. We'll talk about that another day.
That also goes with it.
That does go with it. That does. And Rachel and I have talked about that because she's like, have you tried the gut health? And I'm like, yes, give me some more information. We do talk about that. So Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got in this. Who have we missed? Hi, Kristen. Thank you for being here. I know it's a surprise guest. Thank you. Thank you. The beauty of siblings. I know, right? I know. Thank you guys for being here. I know I asked Jessica to be here for 30 minutes and I'm like already over my time. Thank you so much. She's like,
How many questions do we have?
Oh, we have like 20 more. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, okay, we did ask that one. We did ask this one. I'm just going to ask a couple more. And this is a good one, actually. And I keep doing this with my hair. Does my hair look okay?
Yeah.
I keep like messing
so
with it. You look so pretty. Okay, many people ask, and this is a good one because I think it's like all fluffy here. Okay, many people ask, is it autistic or is it autistic versus neurodivergent? Which is best, or does it matter?
I think neurodivergent is more of an umbrella term. So, like, if you don't know what you have, you're just neurodivergent. Or if you have multiple diagnoses, sometimes it's easier just to say neurodivergent as opposed to neurotypical. And I think it depends on every person who has a neurodivergence. If you have a neurodivergence, it's totally up to you. I prefer it because I have multiple diagnoses. And for someone who has autism or who's autistic, they may prefer to just say, I'm autistic, or they may want to keep that private and just say, I'm neurodivergent. And if someone wants to ask or wants to know more, then they can always ask more, but they may not want to share it. And that opens that conversation. It leaves that conversation to being, I feel that it's private and I don't want to share it, or yeah, this is me. Here's my whole menu.
Gotcha. It's like, here's my menu. I like the menu. That's awesome. So as an adult sibling, what advice can you give the new young parents who are just getting the diagnosis for young kids? So I'm a new mom, I've just got this diagnosis and I have other siblings, I've got a couple other kids and I've got this, new diagnosis. I'm struggling, but I want to make sure that my other kids also have time. What advice as an adult sibling can you give me?
Talk to your kids. Keep the conversation open. Be ready to have hard conversations. And don't jump to the easiest solution, because the easiest solution is not going to be what's best for your kid every time.
Okay.
Every time. If you see it, your child is struggling in school or they're struggling socially, go to the siblings. Lean on the siblings. Say, hey, I see this as the parent. These are the signals that are coming off. Can you figure out what it means? Because sometimes with someone who's autistic and they're overstimulated or they're going through an emotion they haven't had the ability to process and communicate, they may just need extra space to do that, as opposed to what a neurotypical person may need. Mm-hmm. So having the relationship or having the communication open for the person who has a better relationship with the person who is neurodivergent may just be better in overall, because ultimately the parents, you're 20 years plus older your kid.
Yeah.
You're not going to understand how they think.
Right.
Period. Right. Stop trying to.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's okay to want to learn and understand as much as you can, but you will never be in their shoes. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Yeah. They're their own person. You made that person. That's all you can do. Yeah. Raise them, help them get the tools that they need without a shortcut. If you can teach them how to look at why I'm reacting this way, if I have enough nutrients in my diet, if I'm if I'm dehydrated, if I had enough food today, those things all add up in how we process our overstimulation and our understimulation. If we need more dopamine here, if we need more exercise here, like there's these different things that we can learn. There's different things we can learn how to do and how to give us the things we're looking for without jumping to, okay, well, let me just get him on medication. Yeah. Okay, well, let me just put him in therapy and see if it works. Yeah. Sometimes therapy is not going to work. Medication definitely isn't going to work, because all medication does is it coats the brain in what it thinks it needs while it's developing. Yeah. The brain's not done developing until it's like 24, 25. Yeah.
So try like the diets and things like that.
Definitely look at your diets and exercise.
Yeah.
There's a lot that there's an argument behind processed foods, red dye 40, wheat, and salt intakes, and all of those arguments are extremely valid.
Yeah.
Look at those before saying, oh, wait, maybe they just need Adderall.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just need Strattera. Yeah. Or maybe they just need Seroquel or Ambien to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't need sleep. Maybe their brain processes the best at night and they need a nap during the day right when they come home from school.
Yeah.
It's part of having neurodivergence is working with your brain, not against it, and turning it into neurotypical.
Yeah.
So definitely just try to listen.
Yeah. Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Just, not medical advice. No medical advice. Well, what advice would you give parents for the siblings?
Pay attention to them.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to fill roles that they feel are neglected by themselves.
Yeah.
So if they feel like if you see them doing more at home, they feel like you're not able to do it. Mm-hmm. They're wanting to do it for you. If you see things where they're lacking in school and they need more in general attention, give it to them because they're crying for a reason. They're acting out. They're sneaking away to smoke cigarettes. They're cutting their hair in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Give them attention.
Give them attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think what happens, and it happens quickly without fault to the parents, is once you have the diagnosis, you 60-40 on accident.
Yeah.
And your kids are always supposed to be 50-50.
Yeah.
Like always. And it's really hard to do because some days one needs more attention than the other.
Some days it's 10-90.
Yeah. Some days it's sometimes 10-10. Like it's zero.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then that gives you room to do more of your stuff.
Exactly.
But if there's some signs that kids will say and that, oh no, I don't need you. Oh no, I don't need you. But they do. Mm-hmm. And it's things where it's little things where it's you're just available to be there, or it's you help them clean their room, take them to the salon and talk to them for an hour.
Yeah.
Talk about their special interest. A lot of parents don't know enough about their kids' special interests.
Yeah.
I know a handful of parents who do. I also used to teach. So I also knew parents who would pay attention to their kids who were neurodivergent special interests, but not their neurotypical. So they would be, well, my daughter has autism, but she's a painter and she's a beautiful artist. She can make incredible paintings.
Yeah.
And then my other daughter is gifted and she's going to college. Well, what's she going to college for? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why? Well, she's fine. Obviously, she's fine. That wasn't the question. The question was,
what is she going to school
what do you know
for?
About your kid?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know
you have two. Yeah.
What's going on in their life and taking the time to have that connection.
Right.
Make sure you keep that at least through high school.
Right.
High school is definitely going to be your hardest part.
Yeah.
But if you can try, it'll come back to you later.
Yeah,
even if it doesn't connect, because it didn't work with us in high school, but I came back.
Yeah.
I still need you. Like,
yes, you do. I'm so glad. We had our moments.
Yeah.
We had moments in high school connected. It was our heads, but we did it.
Yeah. It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
It did.
But it was different.
It was different.
Because we had a different family too.
Yeah.
We have all these different areas that needed different attention. We had different things that happened in our life that we don't have to dive into, but that
absolutely
also had impact that other families have to consider too. Like there was this happened in 2008. There was this that happened in 2012. There was this that happened in 2020.
Yeah.
All big key factors
all
we have to consider that had some kind of impact on your kids.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 100%. And the big thing too, one of the big pieces is a fact too, that I don't know if a lot of parents know this, that we are amongst, and I know Christy's one of just a handful of parents that actually have stayed married. Not a lot of parents with children with autism stay married. There's a big divorce rate of parents with disabilities. that have
stayed
divorce rate.
together.
The divorce rate is very high with people with disabilities in general, but people with autism tend to have a high divorce rate. And it's because the stress level is extremely high. It is extremely hard. And there's challenges that come with it. And so, I'm very grateful for the friendships that we have that are still together for sure. And like I said, Christy's among the handful that I have. There's more than 10 I can count, but it would be a struggle for me to remember more than 10. I'll be honest. I'd have to look at my contact list. Just tell you, I really would, to tell you the amount of people. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know it's also difficult for parents who already have such different parenting styles.
Yeah.
So like if you have one opinion about how you should be treating your child and the father has a different opinion or mother has a different opinion and you can't budge on it, usually that'll be the cause of separation. It's not always necessarily because of the child's diagnosis or because of the child being neurodivergent. It's ultimately about your parenting styles. So if your parenting styles don't mix well, you're not going to make good parents. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay too. You learn that, you accept it, and you try to take what you do know as your strengths and you work with it with each other.
Yeah.
That's how you co-parent. That's how you do good things co-parenting when you're not good together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's good. You are better apart.
Yeah.
And that works for some families. And that should also be openly accepted too.
Yeah.
Is that some families go in super passionate. I want to love this person for the rest of my life. And I have their babies. I never thought that they would want to hit their kids.
Yeah. Different topic.
Yeah.
Different topic.
Yeah. But like, that's another thing that you hear with people who have neurodivergent kids. Is, just smack it out of them. I'll just do this.
Oh my gosh. How many times we heard that?
Medicate them. I'll just do this.
Yeah. Beat it out of them.
And people have different opinions. So it's, it's what they eat. Oh, it's that they're not playing enough outside. Oh, it's that they're on their screen too much. And it can take that small. It's not that small, but it can just take that. Oh, they have too much screen time, but they don't have enough screen time. That can be the driving part as well.
Yeah,
just those small difference in opinions for what is good and what is bad for the child.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's okay to separate.
Yeah, for sure. It's better for the kids sometimes. It's for sure.
Gives them more room to grow. They get to have that. They get to have the multiple perspective.
Yeah.
Too. It's not always the most. Praise thing in a split household, but it is something that I've seen kids do well with from being in a split household, is having those multiple perception or perspectives of seeing how mom is with mom's family and dad is with dad's family, how I want to be with my family.
Yeah.
That's I've seen in all of my friends who come from split households.
Yeah.
They're very well, I had two different upbringings. So I have two very good or bad examples.
Yeah, exactly. How many do you want? Let me write them down. Well, this has been, thank you. This has been great. I appreciate you so very much. I do. And it's, oh my gosh, I do too. I appreciate you. And you know that I do. I know that, and this is always difficult. Like, I know I'm not going to live forever. And everybody knows that, like, time passes and people die. Yeah. We unfortunately have had a lot of that. And it's morbid, but we have had that, and life moves on, and we know that. And I know that Bradley is in great hands. So, I mean, that is never a concern of mine. Not ever. Like, I know that this is a wonderful woman and you're going to take great care of him. Thanks. And that's all that has to be said about that. I mean, it's, he's got a great sister. He's got a great person in his life and a great best friend. And that's the end of that. So, I mean, in general, period. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being on my channel.
You're welcome.
And I think you are an amazing woman, and I am so excited for everything you have in life and everything that your future holds.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, Jess. So thank you guys all for being here.
Ask if they had questions.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna be like, and bye. But no, yes. Does anybody have any questions for the Jessica? I love all of the chatting in here. Thank you so much, guys. It's
Chrissy's sister.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
It'd be great for you to interview your husband.
No.
Dad doesn't like being on TV.
Yeah, he was already on TV a couple times, so we're good. Oh, Mama Beth. Yes. Yeah. Bless you. So if you have any questions, let us know. But I think, thank you so much, Roman. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I this was just wonderful. And I did ask her to be on for 30 minutes and I'm like, whoopsie. But I think she did tell me you had an hour for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was great. And I really do appreciate you. And you know, it's just awesome. And it's just a blessing every day. And I tell you that. And I tell her, I say, you know, my umbilical cord doesn't go very far, but it goes all the way around everywhere. And
I don't go very far.
Yeah, but she's got a really big trip, and I'm not gonna blab about it because I can't yet until she puts it out there. But until it's booked, I'm not gonna blab about it yet. So yeah, until it's booked. But my umbilical cord is attached, and I'm okay with it. You know, and I'm a proud mom about that. So I love you so much, and I appreciate you.
I love you too. Wow.
All right, guys, you all have a fabulous Monday. And thank you so much, Coco. I appreciate you. Thank you guys all so much. And I will be back on Monday again to show you what's in my storage unit. I will do like a little blurb about the stuff that's left over from my garage sale. And I agree, Cheryl, me too. No matter where they travel, our kids are always here, right? No matter where they are, they're always in our hearts. They're always in our umbilical cords. They're always a part of us. So I appreciate you guys. And I will talk to you guys next Monday. Bye.